Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the Home Weather Office on this 19th day of April 2023. This is the morning briefing. And as I look out the window from the home office this morning, it's bright and sunny. Good looking morning. But man, it is chilly for this time of year. There has been some frost in the foothills. Doesn't look like we saw a hard freeze or anything like that, but we did see many areas get down around 32 to 35 in the foothills this morning. The valley was generally in that range of 38 to 42. The average overnight low for this time of year in the valley is about 45, so we're well below that. And despite the fact that we'll have bright sunshine today, temperatures will stay below the average, which as of today is 74 degrees. But this is about the end of it. This does look as though it's about the end of the colder weather. It looks as though maybe this morning would be the last time we'll see some frost in the foothills. There's a slight chance we could get something later on, but the overall pattern is changing. We are going to get into some warmer weather. And for those of you in the foothills that have been using your pellet stove or maybe just using a lot more wood to keep the house warm later in the season, yeah, things are about to change. I don't think you're going to have to use the pellet stove that much going forward. So let me show you just what's happening this morning. Beautiful satellite image this morning. We have the snow in the Sierra. This is cloud cover to the north. As you can see, we do have a bit of cloud cover going through north of Mendocino County and up toward the Trinity area, and then also through places like Susanville, Lassen County, some clouds. But this in the Sierra, of course, is all snow cover. A couple of thin wispy clouds going through that. I love how we get the high resolution on these satellite photos, so you can just pick out the detail of the cloud cover that we have over the Coast Range here. Looks like you're even seeing Tulare Lake here first thing this morning. Yep, there it is right in there, growing. And the other thing that I've been noticing on these satellite pictures is just how green everything is. Last year at this time, everything was already starting to take on that golden color. We were losing the moisture very quickly because, of course, we had a very dry winter and a pretty dry spring. But this year, we are holding on to the green in the valley. There's Folsom Lake, for instance, right there. We're holding on to the green in the foothills and the valley quite a bit longer. There's the Sutter Buttes right there. There's the Butte Sink. So, yeah, as you can see, we are hanging on to a lot more moisture in the soil later in the season. Great news. Eventually, we'll get into fire season, but when you see the green grass like this, what it does is it helps to hang on to more moisture. All right, let me show you what's happening here aloft. I talked about the fact that we're getting into a pattern change here. So let me show you what we're looking at here at 500 millibars. So this is the trough that is currently dragging down cold air. Now, for instance, this is where the Aleutians are, right up in here. So this is Alaska. And if you follow these height lines at 500 millibars, they come across the Aleutians and then straight down into California. That's just not a warm flow. That's why we're going to see a cool day today with highs in the 60s. Nice looking day, just not very warm. As we get into the day on Thursday, things begin to change. This is a ridge building up, and so once again, here's the Aleutians, and notice where the lines go now. Everything, the cold air is farther to the east. Big low wrapping up here, bring a severe weather threat to parts of the middle part of the country I'll talk more about. But for California, with this ridge building in, temperatures will start to warm. We will see temperatures at least get into the range of the mid-70s on Thursday. Friday, maybe upper 70s to near 80. During the day Saturday, there'll be a couple of systems kind of wiggling by to the north that'll flatten the ridge a little bit. But if you have any outdoor plans this weekend, it's going to be great. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s to around 80. Now, as we get into next week, look at how the ridge rebuilds. Look at this. That's next Wednesday. That's a big, warm ridge. And with an offshore flow, meaning we won't get any onshore flow, anything in the way to cool off the Central Valley, we could see temperatures well into the 80s. You know, and while we have only Sacramento has only seen one temperature above 80 degrees so far this season, there is a chance, I'm saying there's a chance, that we could hit 90 before the month is done. And, you know, while it will seem very unusual and quite a swing, keep in mind that the average first date of the 90-degree day, the first 90 in Sacramento, is May 4th. That's the long-term average. May 4th is the average date of our first 90, and that's only 2 weeks away. So we're in that window to see our first 90, and if you get a pattern like this, that could certainly happen. All right, well, I do want to show you a couple of other things that are going on. I wanted to point this out because this is a really interesting feature today. I show you the water vapor loops quite a bit, and this is out in the Pacific, but I'm not talking about what's happening in California. Instead, I want to talk about what's happening in Hawaii. So right now we have a low here, and this moisture that you see down here, this is the ITCZ, the Intertropical Convergence Zone. This is where you see tons of moisture. And when we talk about atmospheric rivers, the purpose, if you will, of an atmospheric river is to transport heat and moisture from the lower latitudes to the higher latitudes. Helps the Earth balance out its energy budget, if you will. So here's a classic example of moisture being drawn from the ITCZ to the north. Classic. And there's a low right in here that's doing it. So the circulation around the low comes like this, drags that moisture, and puts it up to the north. But in the middle of it, right down in here, is Hawaii. Hawaii's getting hammered today. Let me see if I can, let's see, where's my, this one's on a slider. So yeah, just you can just see that moisture just kind of getting drawn up. Hawaii's right here. So yeah, Hawaii's just kind of getting hammered today. There's all sorts of flood watches and warnings. Hawaii is known for its rain, but this is a little excessive that they're getting today. So that's one other weather headline I wanted to point out. And one more is, let's just take a quick peek at what the folks at the SPC are saying, the Storm Prediction Center. It does look as though we could see more severe weather today. And as these systems kind of get kicked out of California and head toward the plains with the cold air coming from the north, grabbing moisture from the south, our classic spring pattern, there is a slight chance for severe weather today. And if you look at the tornado parameters, 5% here in southern Iowa, 5% here in Oklahoma. And I know 5% doesn't sound like very much, but the scale doesn't go very high. So this is going to be one of the things we'll be watching today, is the possibility of a severe weather outbreak in the Central Plains today, in those spots right there. We have seen bigger severe outbreaks, if you will, but this one does look as though we could see some activity today in those areas that I highlighted. But for Northern California, sunshine and cool today, but after this, temperatures warm. And yeah, if you have any outdoor plans for this upcoming weekend, it's going to be great, with highs in the upper 70s to around 80. That's everything I've got for you this morning. If you like these morning updates, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate those, all of those of you that have done that. Today is Wednesday, so that means there won't be a Facebook Live chat tonight, but I will be on KCRA at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you later.